So the planning board, as Charlie mentioned, has been going through almost line by line the master plan, specifically the zoning code. They went through about 4 pages of text in well over 4 hours the other night. So they're taking a considerable amount of time, and I believe, to address one of the questions that you raised earlier, they talked about what lakes did they compare Lake Mahopac to. I believe one of them was Saranac Lake. I'm not sure. I believe that there were others, and we had that same question that we were going to ask Bonnie as well, because they wanted to know what were they comparing apples to apples or apples to oranges. So that was a question. The jurisdictional question came up, and that's something that council is going to have to deal with relative to what we can and cannot do zoning wise around the lake. We're restricted. We don't own the lake. Okay, the town doesn't own that. Everybody knows that. So we are restricted by law, under the navigation law, where and what we can and cannot regulate. But there are ways around that. The Greenway Compact is one of them. So there are outstanding issues that have been discussed by the planning board. I believe we've now devoted, either before, after, or during meetings, about I want to say over a month and a half. We probably have at least 2 more meetings to go, because it has been painstaking. I believe we also have a member of the Park District on the planning board. So we do have insight and knowledge from whatever skill set he brings to the Park District, to the planning board. So, which is probably why it's taken such a considerable amount of time to go through it, because it's personal to the planning board. The planning board has a vested interest in it. But the public needs to understand something. The planning board didn't draft this document. This document was given to us by the town board pursuant to statute to comment and critique. And at the conclusion of that process, vis-a-vis the town planner, Pat Cleary, a document will be presented to the town board, and then they'll have the ability to consider that and certainly discuss it with their consultant, and hopefully make this a document that everybody can live with. So I would say, but we're shooting for the end of January. In all likelihood, by probably the first meeting in February, we'll have a document that's presentable to the town board.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have as much confidence as I have in this town board, I have in the planning board as much. I watched what was dumped on their lap, a tremendous amount of information and things to decipher and figure out, and they have a painstaking long ordeal to try to do it properly. I agree.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
They really are, and if you haven't seen it, you should look, because I applaud these people for what they're trying to figure out, how they're trying to get it done.
Extremely diligent.
Yes, without a doubt. I think they really, really are a fabulous board for what we have going on with it. But with that being said, the only issue that I ask is that what you just said to me about, you believe it was Saranac Lake, we could stop so much of what's floating around there, just what I see people asking me on the internet and things and questions and phone calls and text messages.
Well, I didn't make that up out of whole cloth. It's in the document.
Charlie, I wrote that down. I'll get the links
I'll
for
read
you.
I'm sorry.
So there's a
I'll
lot.
get the list of lakes for you.
There's a lot of stuff in there, and unfortunately, I've read it all. And when you read it all, you see things like, okay, Saranac Lake popped out. I think there was another lake. Off the top of my head, I could probably find it if I brought it with me. I'm not 100% sure, but that's the stuff that I retain.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim. So if there are no other comments,